Welcome back to the Nintendo Rewind. My name's Cody Christian. I'm joined by my lovely, beautiful, amazing co-host, Chris Becker. We are rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo. But before we dive in, I'm just going to tell you guys, we're tired. It's been a long week. I was talking with Chris during the pre-show, and I was like, Chris, are you okay? And he's like, I'm sick. And I'm like, what kind of sick? He didn't say he was sick. He said he's not feeling well. And I was literally just saying, I'm tired. Like, I could use a nip nap. That's where I'm at. But how are you? How are you, Chris?
Oh, great. Just wonderful. Phenomenal. Spectacular. I'm working. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into how you're doing, let me ask you, how is your frog impression? Like, how can you do a good frog?
What do you mean? Like Kermit the Frog here? Like, what are you talking about?
Please.
Like, you're talking like a ribbit frog?
Like like a ribbit frog.
Like, that's the best I got.
Yeah, mine is just not that great. It's like ribbit.
Yep, oh, you got it.
No,
work on that.
I'm working on it.
Ribbit, I hardly knew her.
Ribbit, I hardly knew her. Yeah.
Where's this frog impression coming from? What is up with that?
Crush me on my lily pad. I know. But how are you doing?
Oh man, dude, like I said, I'm tired. I've been so this last week was just like crazy, just in general. I tried to stream a little bit here and there. I played a lot of Marvel Rivals. That was tons of fun. But then I didn't play any Marvel Rivals. My birthday happened this last week, by the way. Happy birthday to me. And Game Awards happened. I went and streamed with a couple of friends that night, not on my own channel, but on channel with them. And so that was really fun, like looking at all the new games that got announced. You watched it, right? Like, I know you were there in our chat, but you were probably watching like the actual Game Awards as well, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
What was the standout for you? Because like, I mean, obviously us as Nintendo fans, like we didn't really get anything. Like they did an Echoes of Wisdom teaser randomly, and that was pretty much it. And like, there's a lot of like smaller third-party stuff, and not even smaller third-party stuff, big third-party stuff that got announced coming to Nintendo Switch, but nothing from Nintendo. But what was the standout thing for you, regardless of platform?
Probably. Well, I love Naughty Dog, so probably Intergalactic.
Yep.
And I really liked it. And then Okami after that, probably.
You know, those were the same two that I said that night when we were talking. But there were like Intergalactic's my number one. Like, it looks so cool. It's getting a lot of hate online for no reason. Everybody's being like, it's woke or whatever they're saying. I don't understand. Like, the cool game, cool setting, cool graphics. Reminds me of like, you know, 1980s sci-fi films, like late 80s sci-fi films, like Alien, you know, where it has that like 80s futurism that they had in there, where we all assumed we were going to have, you know, 30 CD disc changing machines and big CRT monitors with only black and green on them still yet in our space stations.
Right. Like they made advancements. I think it said in like 1987 or something. Like it would have been like right around the time CDs came out, right, but before flat screen TVs. So
right,
like even in the monitors where they were talking to each other, it was like 4x3.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked cool. I liked the aesthetic. It has a lot of, like, the one thing I was worried about the entire time, I was like, well, product placement's going to have to get cut out of this game pretty soon, I would imagine. Like, because if it's anything like Death Stranding, where they no longer have Monster Energy drinks in them, like, you're going to be losing Porsche, you're going to be losing Adidas, you're going to be Adidas for the non-fancy people. You're going to be losing Sony. Actually, you won't be losing Sony because it'll probably only be on Sony stuff, so they won't mind having their stuff in there. And PC, but that one is still yet my number one pick off of that entire list of games that got announced at the Game Awards. But my number two pick, I actually changed it from Okami. Okay. Ninja Gaiden. Dude, the 2D, like, Messenger-esque, Cyber Shadow style game that is actually like the father of those games in so many ways. Like, I'm so stoked for new Ninja Gaiden. And Ninja Gaiden, like, 2 stands out to me as probably my favorite Ninja Gaiden. The original Ninja Gaiden 2 is my favorite Ninja Gaiden in the series, and they're so hard, but they're so rewarding to learn to play, and like genuinely good games beyond the fact that, you know, you despawn an enemy by just walking 2 pixels wrong and it respawns in. So like, it's the only complaint I have with the old games. Yeah. But I think that one.
Yeah, that's made by Blasphemous devs. And so I'm looking forward to that.
I played Blasphemous 1. I didn't play Blasphemous 2. I just haven't gotten the time to get around to it. I'm still working on my backlog of bajillion games that I still haven't finished in general. But yeah, like made by a good team, like with a good IP. I'm so stoked for it. And then like my runner up, and I haven't seen enough people talk about it, is the new Pac-Man game.
Okay.
Based on Secret Level, like the Secret Level episode where it's like that creepy. You know what I'm talking about. I haven't watched the episode yet. I haven't. I'm waiting to just grind the whole season out when it's out, which I normally don't do. But for that, I'll probably do it because the wife won't want to really watch it with me. It's not going to be her jam. She's not going to understand all the references. She might like the animation and think it's beautiful, but like, it's not going to be her thing. So I'm just going to wait till it's all out and just binge it one day.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes they put out. I know last Tuesday there was like 8 episodes.
Ooh.
And so I watched the first 2, which was like Dungeons?
D&D. They did a Dungeons and Dragons episode.
The Dungeons and Dragon episode was episode 1, and then episode 2 was Sifu, and then I just skipped down to Pac-Man because they didn't have the Mega Man episode.
Which I've heard the Mega Man episode is a little bit of a bait and switch, by the way. I don't know if you've watched it yet.
The Mega Man? No, not yet. I forgot that the new episodes are out today.
Rumor has it that Mega Man, it's not even really Mega Man most of the episode. Like, eventually you get Mega Man towards the end and it's clipped. But I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but that's what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pac-Man is kind of like... you ever see that movie Enemy Mine?
Probably. Enemy Mind or Mine? Oh wait, Mine. Oh my God! Yeah, I remember this. Holy cow! Hang on, see it. Let me swap scenes here. This. Look at this. This is so horrifying looking.
Yeah,
it's bad. I have seen this.
That for some reason, that's what it makes me think of.
I can totally see it. Oh my God, that's so nasty though. I hate the way they did his teeth, where he has like that one gigantic buck tooth in the front, like bottom front.
Yeah,
it's so bad. I can see it though. I can absolutely see it. That's pretty good. I would agree with you. It's got like this just so super strange look about it, and that's why I'm like intrigued. World. Yeah. I could totally see that, but. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm most excited for, I think, is those 3 games. I was talking with, we had Tenderly on the show, and she got super excited about Catly, but then there was like this discussion in the Discord, which, by the way, ! Discord, if you want to join up over there and find out what's going on. But there was a lot of discussion about that Catly game. Are you cooking? Are you cooking?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Is it not working?
It doesn't work.
Let's just do links. I think that would work. There we go. But there was a lot of discussion about that Catly game over in the Discord. People talking about it looking like it was AI generator. And then it turns out, by the way, it doesn't confirm that it uses generative AI. So this is what Nolan says in the Discord. He says, interestingly, they do not confirm it uses generative AI, which, by the way, shout out to Nolan. Let's get him a shout out. He is streaming right now the Tetris 40th anniversary thing that just came out, and watching all the videos live.
Yeah.
But he says, so be on the lookout for new euphemistic terms with less negative stigma, starting with technologically innovative. Which means, like, essentially it's generative AI, but they're doing something, quote, technologically innovative. And then Virtua Cat, another member out in the community, says, digging into the team behind it, it leads to the the executive being a big NFT guy, and I'm like, oh my god. But all that being said, like, I hope it's not just riddled with generative AI. Like, I mean, it's fine to use a little bit of. I am a proponent for it being a tool that helps advance your workflow. That if you utilize it in the right ways and make sure it is A, not stealing from people, but also B, that you're paying people to continue to work for you. Like, if you're using it as a corporation or a company, like, let it streamline their workflow so they can be more effective at the things that they do. Don't let it cut out your employees. It's just kind of where I'm at with it.
It's kind of like, what is it? I forget what it's called, but some games use it where it's like easy trees, or like the tree, the thing
procedurally generated.
Well, yeah, but it's like a program
specifically for trees.
For trees, yeah, I forget what it's called. But I mean, that, like, stuff like that helps make it, rather than like replacing the actual artists doing the stuff. But yeah, that's just exactly what that screamed to me. It just looks like AI art.
Free them up though to do their jobs more effectively. Don't cut out other people's jobs.
And then it also, like, when they showed it off, the end screen, it was like had all the other game systems revealed, and then at the very end it just quickly added on the Switch, like that was like an announcement or something.
And I was so blown away because the way that game looked, I was like, if that's what the game is going to look like, right? If that's what the game is going to look like, I was like, I don't know how that's going to run on the Switch at all. Like, I'm going to slander the Switch right now. even if I am slandering cats, like, I'm going to slander the Switch right now. Just be like, hey, I don't know how that's going to work. Just
right, yeah.
Holy cow. But I don't know, like, there's a lot of cool stuff. Lot of really, really cool stuff. I really enjoyed Game Awards this past week. And I had a really good time streaming it with some friends, and having, because otherwise I would have just been probably playing Marvel Rivals again for the second time last week on stream. But I got invited to go hang out with Sakura, so it was a good time. It was a good time hanging out with Sakura and friends. But like, that's been pretty much between that, being excited for that, and then to top it off, I've been working on some stuff for last year. I did this charity event called Save and Raid. What we do is, it's like a multi-streamer charity event where everybody comes on and we stream for 1 hour at a time. We play 1 hour of a game, we save the game, and then we pass it on to the next streamer, and then raid into them, carrying over the audience from person to person. And we do all that to raise money for suicide awareness, Voices of Education. And essentially they provide benefits to, or not benefits, my apologies, educational opportunities for people to learn how to identify needs of someone who may be experiencing suicidal thoughts. They provide resources for people who may be feeling that way as well. Overall, like, a really, really cool thing. But I've been working on a trailer for that, and my brain is mush because they had never had a trailer like that before. And I worked my way through the last 4 years of the event's worth of footage, so that way I could put it all into, like, really tease everything they've ever done. Next year will be easier. I won't have to do that much back work, I don't think. But it was a lot of work to, like, just scrub through hours and hours and hours of footage. I mean, last year's alone was a 72-hour event almost. Like, it was 56 streamers. And took place over the course of 3 days, and it was just so much footage to just, like, find something cool. So my brain's been kind of, like, very mushy, just staring at my computer screen. And then, like, I mean, you and I, we played Marvel Rivals and Fortnite on, what was it? Sunday night. And I had been staring at my computer screen. I literally called you up and I was like, I cannot sit at my computer tonight. I'm just going to play Rivals on the Xbox. We played one round. Yeah. We got halfway through the round, and I said, my heart can't take this, and my fingers can't continue doing this amount of work. If we don't win this one, we're swapping to Fortnite.
And then we won that one and stayed, and then played one more. And you're like, no matter how, win or lose, we're going to Fortnite.
Yep. I needed a relaxing. Look, Fortnite. Like, I used to say that it was sweaty. Like, I was always panicked. I was like, oh man, there's 99 people and it's just me. But now it's like, you and I, we just kind of go on there and walk around, look at things, have a good time, kill a few people.
Yeah, because then we played, and then we were just driving around, and we were like, what, 3/4 of the way through the match before we even ran into a person?
Yep.
I don't think that there's anyone here.
It was so good because we didn't even have to fight anybody. It was like, okay, I can 100% deal with that. Like,
and then we got 5th place, and we got killed one person or 2 people.
Which, hey, seems really unfair to the people who were like in the muck, like actually
because
fighting.
we weren't like sitting in a bush. We were just driving around
out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh man, but no, Fortnite's a good time. Shout out to Fortnite. Shout out to Skibbity Toilet coming to Fortnite. By the way, did you see that?
Oh gosh, did I ever? Yeah. Is it there tonight, or was it coming
later? I think it's coming. I think it was leaked. I think it's coming, but I saw a video of Godzilla doing the Skibbity Toilet. His hand is like just sticking out of the toilet, and it's like Skibbity dip or whatever the song is. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't understand the meme. Like, I'm too old for that meme.
You too, you know.
But no, like I'm gonna pick that emote up for sure. Like, it's only gonna be 500. Like, I'm definitely gonna buy that. We could sync it up. You and me both be Skibbity Toilets.
Yeah, we can just be the.
Can you imagine getting 360 no scoped by some like 5-year-old and they Skibbity Toilet on your face? Like, that's the most offensive thing in the entire world.
We could only hope.
Yeah, but like, I've had no desire to play video games. Yesterday, I think I finished editing the trailer, and then I didn't message you, and my brain was mush, and I was like, I can't play video games tonight. And I was this close to being like, we just crossed the 1-year anniversary of Nintendo Rewind. Maybe it's time to call it quits. That's where I was tonight. Was just, I'm tired.
Tonight?
Yeah, just call it quits tonight. I'm kidding. We wouldn't do that. I enjoy doing this show too much and just talking with Chris. This is like the only time that we get to do anything that's like not a video game and actually chill and talk. So most of the time we're just playing video games and chilling and talking, but like, this is the one time it's like we're just talking and not doing anything around it. So I don't know.
Or when we're done talking,
mm-hmm.
we're done playing a game, sometimes we'll just sit there and talk.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably be talking on Thursday.
Yeah.
For sure, because we all know what's happening Thursday, right?
We definitely know what's happening Thursday.
Do you want to tell the people, or you want me to tell them?
You tell the people.
Because you don't know.
No, I don't. What's happening Thursday?
The Superman trailer is coming out.
Oh, yeah. At 6 a.m. PST. That's what they said.
So they dropped Legacy, and now it's just called Superman.
Yep, I'm very excited for it. it. I kind of like the Legacy, though.
The poster says "Look Up." That's all it says
on. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for some Supermans. But I don't know. It's been really busy, and my brain does not want to do anything that is positive or advancing anything in my life. I'm just so tired, and the wife is tired. It's just this time of year. It's just tired. Mel Needs a Name says, slander the Switch right now. What's new? And that's it. I just saw the comment.
The Switch.
I think as big of a fan of Nintendo as I am, and as the fact that we are on a Nintendo podcast, I slander that Switch so much, just saying, hey, go play that game somewhere else.
I think that was when you were saying you didn't think, when you saw
Catley,
you didn't think it would look like that.
Yeah, but it's not going to look like that. I promise it's not going to play on there. It's just not.
At the bottom of the screen, all captured on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it did. I don't know. Chris, do you have anything else you want to share before we move on?
Yeah, I got something I got to announce.
All right, I'm ready for it. What's your announcement?
This is my final episode.
Oh, no, what? I was like, hold on, what? Well, conveniently, this is also my final episode. Kidding. I'm
What are the
kidding.
odds?
I'm kidding. We're not stopping now.
Yeah. No, I have nothing else to share or say. I don't think I do.
Okay.
No, I have nothing I've been playing, talking about.
You played Infinity Nikki
Oh gosh.
and Atomic Crops.
I haven't. No, I didn't play. I downloaded Atomic Crops. I didn't play. I haven't played that. I've been playing Vampire Survivors. I gotta get that platinum. You know how that is.
Oh yeah.
Platinum life.
I don't.
For some reason, I feel like getting. Okay, so I got platinum trophies on PlayStation. It's after you get all of the achievements for a game or trophies for a game. If you get all of them, then they give you the platinum trophy for that game. And so therefore, wait, what are you drinking?
Me?
Looks different than the usual.
It is different than the usual. The Walmart sent me just the cream soda, not the strawberries and cream soda.
Oh gosh, it sounds diabolical.
It is. It's the worst. I hate Walmart for that. Shout out to Walmart for being the worst.
Shout out to them. I keep looking and thinking about getting those, but every time I see them at the store, they only have the regular ones and not the sugar-free ones.
The cream soda? Oh, no, the regular ones are medicinal. Sugar-free is way better. The zero sugar, so much better.
Yeah. That's the ones I want to try.
Did you read the chat, by the way? The live chat?
Yes.
I suppose we should I don't know. Like, I haven't really talked about it, by the way. Like, I haven't talked about it with anybody, but, like, it's not that he's... so we're being asked in the live chat, what have we done with Josh? And it's not that he's not a part of the show. It's that he's really busy. And I think it's a little bit too much for him to commit to. I don't know if you guys know this, but the dude works 2 jobs all the time. Not that he didn't tell everybody every episode. But he posted. We posted the Rewindies nominees last week before we did the Rewindies, which, you know, shout out Echoes Wisdom winning our Game of the Year award. But
like a mediocre game winning game.
Shut. But on the best third party game, he replied to that tweet. And he replied with a GIF, and yes, I say GIF, not GIF. He replied with a GIF of Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic and Shadow Generations, and said, "I should have never left the show." Ha! Which I didn't like. I don't know. Like, I didn't know he actually officially left. I don't know if he has officially left. He's welcome to come back and sit at the hosting table, but he's busy, I think, is the biggest thing. So, you know, all that being said, keep him in mind. We're gonna leave him on the emotes for a little bit until I confirm that he's not coming back. But, like, I don't know if that means he's not. I'm just saying that to everybody so they know that, like, yes, he's still here, but only in spirit, I guess. I don't know. We haven't been asked, so I thought I would just address it now because we gotta ask.
In emote form.
Yeah. He'll be here.
That reminds me. Sorry, go ahead. Were you gonna say something else?
No, I was done.
Okay. Yeah. I opened some of the mythical island packs.
Me too.
The new packs, I forgot about that. They came out. You were talking, and I was kind of zoning out. But then I looked at the, I don't know, the mythical island packs. My buddy Johnny Ebo, shout out to Johnny Ebo. He posted a video on YouTube of himself opening like 100 packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I didn't open 100 packs, but I opened like 4, and I got I don't even know who I got. Celibate, whatever that.
One? This one?
Hold on, let me see. I don't have the.
The Celebi EX. This was in my very first pack.
Yeah, I got one in my very first pack. I don't feel like opening it, but
you don't feel like opening the app.
I'm very busy right now. Okay, I got a lot going on. But yeah, I did get one. I don't even know how to look for it. How do you look for it?
What do you mean? You go to your deck, like your decks, like this secondary icon over. And then when you get there, you flip the switch so that way you can see the Mythical Island decks, and then you can scroll and look at the rest of what you've got. Decks as in DEX, not DECKS.
Mother trucker. Okay, hit this.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying.
I did get 2 of the Mew EX, by the way.
I did not get that one. I got card number 3, whatever that is.
Card number 3? How do you know you got card number 3?
It tells me. They're numbers.
Like this one that I don't have?
Yeah, it is Celebi EX, but it's not super shiny.
It's the standard
it's sort
EX.
Of shiny. Yeah, it's the generic EX. But then I also got how do I get rid of it? Then I got this like hand-drawn looking Mew.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got the cool. Yeah, that's like the old school style. Like it reminded me of the old school style Mew.
It looks like the old,
this one.
Old. Yeah. I got like 4 of those.
I got 2 of those.
Oh no, I have 2 actually. I said 4, but I got 2. And then I got a golden egg. The one thing that this game does, this dumb trading card game does. I got 3 of those dang golden eggs. Mm-hmm. But anyway, with the thing that this does is, I got a Vaporeon. But anyway, the thing that this thing
I hate this game. Ooh, look at this.
Oh, fancy. It makes me want to play some sort of Pokemon.
But a good one.
Yeah, like
Detective Pikachu Returns.
Nope, not that. I would even play Pokemon Unite because I haven't tried Psyduck yet. Psyduck is there.
Never touched Pokemon Unite. It's just not my jam. Like I like Overwatch and I like Marvel Rivals, but I don't like those top-down MOBAs.
It's really fun. 2023 it was my most played game.
What?
On the Switch.
Well, that doesn't say much. I'm surprised it beat Atomicrops, but I guess you were playing that on Steam or something.
Well, my second most played game was
Atomicrops.
2023 was Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that tracks too. That's 40-hour game easily if you just play the main line of the story.
So before we played, everyone knows.
Oh my god, I don't even want to look at 2024's. It's going to be Fortnite. It's going to be my most played game. No, on accident, because there wasn't anything that was longer that came out this year.
But anyway, because I went through like a breakup, right? And then we played like every night for, I don't even know, until the busy season started. Pretty much we would be playing every night. Fortnite, and then because of that Marvel season, remember the Cap Shield, and so then we would play that every night, and then, but before that, I had like a Sunday night game night where we would play 3 hours every Sunday of Pokemon Unite.
Ooh.
And so we would do that and play it, and it was pretty enjoyable. But I haven't played it in a while. And luckily it wasn't a game that I played with my ex, so I don't have to like think about her while I'm playing it. So I would still be down to play, but you have no interest. What's so funny?
I understand that. It's been years since I've had an ex, but like, I mean, I've had an ex for a lot of years, but like, it's been years since I've had to go through a recent breakup where everything that we loved, now I can't love because I'm by myself. Like, I'm so sorry. Right. Oh man.
Like, I love, believe it or not, I really relate to Nick Miller from New Girl. And I loved New Girl, but we we watched the whole entire show together.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm creating a new memory by watching the whole show together again with my father, so that I can
love this again.
Yeah, I'm learning to love New Girl again, one episode at a time.
And eventually, you will learn to love a New Girl again.
Eventually, yeah.
Someday. Oh man!
But yeah, it's great show. The whole show is great.
What is this episode? By the way, we've been live for 36 minutes and haven't done jack with the actual episode.
Yeah, don't forget Nick Schmidt, Jessica Day, Cece,
Zoe Deschanel.
Right, Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
There's at least a couple episodes where she sings because she's the singer.
Oh yeah. Her and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right? They in a band together, weren't they?
They always 50 days, was it 500 Days of Summer?
Yeah. 50 First Dates? That's what I thought you were about to say.
That was the other one?
No, that's Adam Sandler. No, wait, is that Adam Sandler?
Wedding Singer, yeah.
50 First Dates. I'm going to Google it now. I'm not. Yeah, it's Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, but then the one that I did like was Wedding Singer.
With Adam Sandler?
Yeah, and Drew Barrymore.
we just make it a special episode. Yeah, we should make it just a special episode.
So that's what I enjoyed. But yeah, so then I just I was watching that, and that's pretty much what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Josh is gone.
I mean, as far as we know,
Sonic.
We've been down with Sonic. No, I think everybody's been properly updated on the episode. This episode is so weird. Welcome to the new era of Nintendo Rewind. This is 1 year in.
Josh has gone and the wheels fall off.
Let's get to the main topic. I'm gonna click us over. Does it sound?
About the Nintendo this week.
Wait a second. We didn't do the thank yous. Hang on. Now I gotta go back. Anyway.
Would you please thank these people?
Yeah, I'm gonna thank them. Before we dive into the actual episode, I know we're already at main topic, but good God. Before we dive into the actual episode, we want to make sure that we thank our generous supporters from NintendoRewind.com. If you would like to directly support our content, guide what we are discussing, and get exclusive videos that won't be uploaded to our YouTube channel, you can sign up to become a member. Plus, you get merch discounts, and every dollar spent on our merch also helps us continue to produce this show. There's even a tier that only costs $1 a month, and with it, you get a shout out. That said, I want to thank our lovely members, Calamity Nolan, Sierra Christian, and Shiny Bird for all of their gracious support. Now we're going to get back to the show. I'm going to play the bumper again. I'm just going to play the bumper again. Chris, we had a lot of news this past week, dude, and it's kind of a crazy amount of news. I mean, like, legitimately, I have not seen this much news for Nintendo Switch, and specifically the second one in particular, in months. And a lot of it kind of comes down to the fact that we have to be on the horizon of something happening with Nintendo, saying what the Switch 2 looks like, what it is, how much it's going to be, and when it's going to come out. And I think if you were Team October, you moved to Team December or January. What team were you, Chris? You were Team October. I was also Team October. I was like, it's coming in October.
You were probably Team October because I kept saying, don't worry, it's going to happen.
I just believed you. But now, like, we're coming up on January almost. I mean, we got, what, 2 weeks till January rolls around, and we still don't have any idea what Nintendo is actually doing with the successor to the Nintendo Switch. But that being said, there's been so much information this last week. At some point, Nintendo's going to want to step in there and say, hey, like, this is what we're doing. Like, they're officially going to have to do something, right? If any of these are getting anywhere near close, because Nintendo, they want to have the control of their IP. They don't want other people spoiling it for everybody else. They want to be the person that says, hey, this is what we've got happening and coming on. But we've got a litany of Nintendo Switch 2 leaks that happened this past week alone. And we're going to run them down for you guys and kind of catch you up on what it looks like, what it means, what you can look forward to. But this first one and I don't think it really comes as a surprise. This was mentioned a few months back, but it was Nintendo Switch 2 leak reveals 3 different options to choose from. And I talked about this a few months ago about because they had mentioned that it was like 3 different SKUs, right? And no one really knew what that meant. I theorized that it was colors. And I think I'm pretty much spot on with the 3 different SKUs, because this new rumor comes from a random anonymous source on the Nintendo Switch 2 Reddit page, where they followed to say that it will have 2 different color schemes plus a game-related theme. Now, my estimation is that that game-related theme may not actually be the thing that happens with it. And this news comes from comicbook.com and Reddit in particular, which we'll be talking about that same leaker here in a little bit. But the 2 main colorways they talked about was the gray style with black buttons, which you guys remember from the launch Nintendo Switch. When that one launched, actually, that was the one that I ended up picking up. I don't know about you, Chris, but like I was like, I want gray. It's timeless. It's classic. And now, like, when I look at the gray one, I'm just sad.
You got the gray one?
Yeah, I chose gray. I pre-ordered gray. When GameStop did pre-orders for it, I pre-ordered the gray one.
Yeah, absolutely not. No.
What'd you do? Red and blue, right?
Yeah. Because I'm not. Yeah.
I didn't like the way it looked in the promo images, and I wanted something that was a little more classy and classic. And then when I saw it, I was like, I should have got the red and blue.
Yeah, you should have.
In person, it was so much different.
I remember like Mel and I were talking, and we were like, well, if we can't get the pre-order on the neon one, we'll just get that crummy old gray one. And then we were joking in the Discord to each other, being like, man, could you imagine? I wonder, like, there's got to be someone out there that wanted the gray one. And now I found him.
Here he is. It's me. I just thought the red and blue would look worse than it did, and then I was like real disappointed that I didn't get the red and blue one. And then I got the red and blue Joy-Cons anyway later, so like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I converted it, and then I converted it a bajillion times. Well, you know, the third set of Joy-Cons I got was actually my favorite, and they were the ones that stayed on for a long time. Was the ARMS neon yellow. I loved those Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I had those until they had stick drift.
Oh, see, I still have them. No stick drift. I swapped Joy-Cons so much. I bought every retail version of Joy-Cons except for the Fortnite ones because I was very judgmental at the time of Fortnite. I bought every single kind of Joy-Con that was a standard color. And after the ARMS ones, I had a neon green. I can't remember what set that came out with. What was that game?
It was Splatoon 2, I think. Or
yes.
No,
it was Splatoon.
2 or 3, yeah.
I had the neon green, but I combined it with the orange one.
Yeah.
And it looked like a Nickelodeon console. I was like, I like this. This is cool. So it was like orange and green for a long time. And then I ended up getting the Mario Nintendo Switch OLED and the regular OLED and the Legend of Zelda OLED, and I've got all of those still. They're just packed away neatly because I want to hold on to those because I collect those things. But I was so stoked to pick up those ARMS controllers. But back to the rumor. So gray with black buttons, which I guess won't be the one that you'll be going for, because the other one that they mentioned on there was that it was going to be white, just like the OLED one. And then the other one they're talking about is that there will be a game related one at launch. That's not typically Nintendo style. At least I don't think it is. Would you agree?
Yeah, not unless they're planning on having a pack-in, and it'll be packed in with whatever it is.
I don't even think they got to do a pack-in. As much as I like Reggie Fils-Aimé's like approach to those consoles throughout the years, like I don't think they even have to do a pack-in. Pack-in, like, have you read his book?
It's gonna sell anyway.
Have you read his book, Reggie Fils-Aimé's book?
No, but every time I think of Reggie Fils-Aimé, I want them Pizza Hut to bring back the Bigfoot. You know,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I would agree.
Back.
But
Give it to me.
Reggie had talked about, they in his book, he talked about packing games really weren't Nintendo's specific style. Like it was stuff he had to push for. And I agree with him.
Fight for Wii Sports.
Yep. And I think he made the right decision there, and it helped get more people to purchase it because they could finally understand what the Wii actually was. But also, special edition consoles are typically like held onto and waited for until mid-cycle of the console's lifetime because they reach a plateauing point, and that is an opportunity to get people who maybe already own a Nintendo Switch or whatever console is out at the time to be able to buy another one because this one is special. So I'm not necessarily optimistic that it will be a game-related one. I lean more toward the classic red and blue as well.
Okay, yeah. Or classic buttons, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a console variation that you would like to see at the launch of the Nintendo Switch that isn't those?
I mean, it's always going to be Spice Orange. You give me Spice Orange.
Yes.
I'm a happy camper.
Yes. I'm totally down for some Spice Orange. It'll be sick. But that is the first rumor in this rumor mill. And again, like, take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. It's just a rumor. Like, there's not any official confirmation on this.
Let me take a quick break from that and say, you know how we thanked our supporters?
Our supporters, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the supporters, shout out to him, suggested chicken and a biscuit. Okay, the snack crackers. And I gotta tell you, I didn't know what I would think of them, but they're actually pretty good. You put a little cheese in there with them, and they're nice little baked snack crackers. I don't know what the flavoring is. It's a mystery.
It's chicken.
It could be chicken. But it's kind of like the white Airhead. You just don't know what flavor it is. Okay,
it's mystery flavor. It's Mountain Dew Voodoo.
No, it's original. That's what it is. But yeah, chicken and a biscuit. And on the back, for the longest time, I was calling it. It's called Cheese Whiz, Easy Cheese, whatever you want to call it. I was just calling it spray cheese and got called out for it. But
this is like pss, pss. It's not like it is pss, pss. Spray cheese.
It's a little spray cheese. Yeah, a little bit of spray cheese, like string cheese. That string cheese is a little different. But so then I had a thing of commonly known as
Susie in the live
cheese.
chat. Susie in the live chat. The aerosol cheese ejection system. It's like a fog of cheese.
See, here's the thing: when you get the whipped cream, just hear me out. You get the whipped cream, you can't, like, if you go down to have some in the middle of the night, like when I couldn't have it with the boys and I, they would try and ask me to sneak them a spritz of the whipped cream, and I'd be like, boys, gather up. As soon as we spray this, it's a ticking time bomb till your mother comes running. So we're gonna have to spray all three of us in the mouth before she gets to us. So we
just
would
all grouped around.
Yeah, we would all group around in a circle.
Put our chins together.
I was like, everyone hold your position. No one move. And when she gets here, we'll just act like we were just looking for something to eat. And so I would spray it in my mouth and then spray it in both of theirs, and then she would be like, what is that? And then she would, like, it would never fail. She would come, and half the time the boys would just be laughing so hard they spit the whipped cream.
It's just tasting. It's like a wine tasting of whipped cream.
So, yeah. I was like, boys, please, if you listen. And so it got to the point where Flintstone, I'd be like, Flynn, if you spit it out, you're gonna have to clean it up yourself, pal. All right? I was like, you need to stick the landing. I started putting it in their mouth first, and then gave it to myself. And then she would come over and be like, what are you guys doing? And then I would just, boom, just surprise her and spray some in her mouth. And, then she was okay with it.
Yeah,
But
no
then,
one can be mad when they're eating whipped cream.
My point is the easy cheese. Okay, I'm making a point here. The easy cheese.
I was wondering if we were ever going to circle back. To be completely honest, this is went so off the rails this whole episode.
The spray cheese. Okay, you can go down. You can just spray a little bit in your mouth. Put a little bit on this chicken and a biscuit snack cracker, and don't draw us into your bizarre rituals. Please listen. You want some? Come on. Everyone gather around the fridge. And so then, yes, but that you can do it, no problem. No one would even know if you were doing it with the spray cheese. That's the thing.
That is true. It is quiet. It just makes a little bit of a as it comes out.
Easy cheese.
Yeah,
exactly.
Zed knew what you're talking about immediately. Chicken biscuits with a squeezy cheese. He calls it squeezy cheese. I think it's just named cheese differently everywhere. Like
it's even got the cheese on the back of the box.
Mm-hmm.
It says cheddar, but we all know it's not actually cheddar.
Oh, please never make that sound. I promise to maybe never make that sound again. I can't promise. You know what?
What sound did you make?
This one. As it comes out. It goes out.
You can't see, but I opened my mouth when he did that.
Oh my God.
All right.
So anyway,
let's move on to the next.
There's also, the micro SD card on the Nintendo Switch too. They're talking about it being compatible with, I can't even think now, Samsung's upcoming SD Express cards, which for those of you guys who are not in the know of what SD cards do, because I personally, I was talking to Chris before the episode, I was like, I have never noticed a difference between a game being installed on the hardware versus being installed on an SD card. Granted, we have had games that were probably 2 generations ago worth of quality, so maybe with this bump up in quality, we're going to need the speed that can be read from the SD card to the Nintendo Switch. But this bump up, what they're talking about here, being a noticeable bump up from the current Switch's 60 megabits per second on branded SanDisk cards and 150 megabits per second max on the SanDisk SDXC cards. And it looks like Nintendo's hoping to support the SD Express cards, which can transfer data up to, and that's read and write, up to 800 megabits per second. So that is, it's essentially quintupling the speed that even at the max of what we currently have on the Nintendo Switch, quintupling the read-write speed. What that translates to everybody who maybe don't know, because I didn't know. I didn't care. It wasn't that big a deal to me originally. But they're talking about this being able to scratch some of those boosted by beefy PCs or next-gen consoles games being impossible ports, but actually making them possible on the Nintendo Switch. And while I'm excited for that, again, I have never really noticed a difference or cared enough to worry about it. But what about you, Chris? Is it something that you think is going to actually affect anything?
I think the only thing that something like that will actually affect would be either open world games, or just some of those impossible ports that they would bring over. And once you get it going, it's great, but it would take 3 minutes to load the game.
Are we talking maybe, Kingdom Hearts, the cloud versions actually coming out on cartridge?
Yeah, or Doom or Doom Eternum.
Well, Doom has a physical release. The first Doom has a physical release.
Right, but I'm saying some of those games have long load times when you first start the game, and it takes 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So maybe the games would load up quicker with a card.
That's true.
Like that.
That's true. I think Red Dead has trouble loading. Witcher 3 loads pretty fine, but it looks like mud. So I think I'm with you.
I think they have they added things on there so that you can make it look nicer, but it takes forever to load.
Yeah.
And that it would be for stuff like that.
So performance versus quality modes. They could actually consider that being a thing.
But I have a 1 terabyte card. I don't want to have to get another 1 terabyte card just unless Digital Foundry does a video and it's noticeably improves the performance. If it just improves the loading, then that would be one thing. But if it, see, a lot of these things, I just see the numbers. I have no idea. It's like, just I'm a very visual person, so show me what it does, and then
I get it.
Tell you if I want.
I mean,
want it or not.
I can imagine 5 times faster speeds on loading, but for the most part, like, Nintendo themselves are not going to be the people that are going to need that ever. Like, they're never going to need that speed. Maybe the Pokemon Company, but like, not Nintendo themselves.
They need all the help they can get, that Pokemon Company.
Right. The closest we got to that was Tears of the Kingdom, and that was just a big game. Like, it's magic that it actually exists, but like, it wasn't like, it's not pushing the hardware necessarily to its limit in the same way something like Control or Doom Eternal or whatever it might be would be doing. Nintendo's just not going to do that. Mario's going to look like Mario, and it's going to be clean and clear and crystal and just like amazingly animated, and not push the system to its limits for all of the eternity of Nintendo being Nintendo. Like, that's just how it's always going to be.
Yeah. I agree.
There was another rumor that hit, and this one's not even so much a rumor. It is, let me thank Nolan for that live raid here on the podcast channel. This one's not so much a rumor as it is a confirmed thing. There's new code on Nintendo's IP notice that spawns more Switch 2 speculation. Essentially, what this boils down to is that they have product identification codes that are BEE and HGU. Now, what that is in reference to, or what people are assuming it is in reference to, is that it is a descriptor for the Switch 2 cartridges, because the Switch 1 cartridges are HAC008. The Switch 2 cartridges are likely BEE006. The only thing that confirms is that there is a Switch 2 cartridge. My assumption here is that these cartridges, and I think, Chris, you agree with me, right? Like, is that these are going to be different shaped cartridges, so you can't plug them into the system.
Yeah, because they don't want, because people are idiots, and they don't want...
Be like, well, I'm going to put this game in my Switch 1, and it's going to play. No, it's not. It's not. There is a couple of things here that they mention on this, because this code, the BEE 006 code, actually appears already in the current Nintendo Switch's OS. The assumption here is that it is the foundation of an error message that is, you cannot play that software on this system or something similar.
Right.
Again, this
like
news.
If they break that little tab off, because I think you could break that tab off on the DS.
Yes.
The 3DS game
doesn't affect the actual
DS,
cartridge.
And you would put it in, and then it would be like, this game does not load.
Yep.
I even had like an update on there.
It would do the same thing with Game Boy Color games on a original Game Boy if you could ever fit it in there. It would be like, this software is not compatible. So, I mean, it's something historically Nintendo has done throughout the years, and I think this is pretty well confirmed. The only thing that this code is speculation for what it actually is, which is the cartridge. But that's the assumption. That is what we're speculating, that it is the cartridge. Again, this stuff comes from Nintendo Life, by the way. So,
right, exactly.
The next thing on the list, this is less of a rumor or anything, and I'm going to kind of fast forward here. There was a person who 3D printed. I may not actually have to. They were sent the Switch 2 mock-up from a Chinese case manufacturer, and they 3D printed another 3D printed Nintendo Switch 2. This is the second time we've had this happen that we've covered it on the episode. But the reason that it's noteworthy is because this is the first time that the screen has been the appropriate size, down to the bezel, the Beelzebub. This is the first time they've actually shown that off, and what that screen will look like on here, because previous 3D printed models, they were just like boxes of 3D printed material. And it kind of shows off the case in this video, which comes from, by the way, let me pull up their channel name here, Switch Up. This video, they show it in comparison to like the actual Switch 1 Joy-Cons. You can see they're significantly longer. They have the gigantic button that releases the magnets on the back of it. So that way you can insert and remove the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons from it. It kind of shows a little bit of it in action for what it's going to feel like in the hand. And this guy should have paid for a manicure before getting this close up on his fingers. But whew, it's technology season, guys. Like, you should probably manicure your fingers if you're going to be a tech channel. But he also showed it in comparison to some of the performance.
Or put on some gloves if you don't want to.
Yeah, throw on some white gloves. But also in comparison to the Steam Deck, which you can see it is similar in size on the screen. The Joy-Cons are significantly thinner because they don't have to make room for a trackpad, and they stack the D-pad and the joystick and the buttons and the joystick,
right? Yeah.
Instead of putting them parallel next to each other.
No back buttons.
Yeah, no back buttons. Mm-hmm. But it is also similar in thickness to the Nintendo Switch 1, which I don't know if they show that off as well. Let me see if I can find it on here. But
it also kind of almost looks rounder. Well,
it does.
The Joy-Con look rounder.
They do. It is a significantly more rounded design, less square with rounded corners. But like, I'm excited for this. I like the size. I hope it's lighter because I get the tingles in my hands from a Steam Deck. I can't play that for long periods of time in the bed. My hands go all like, if you've sat on a toilet for too long, what your legs feel like? That's what my hands feel like. You've sat on a toilet too long for sure. Playing Pokemon trading card game Pocket.
It was probably like Golden Sun when it came out on the GBA.
Yeah, well, listen.
I had my SP in there.
Being a parent of 7 and a 5-year-old, sometimes going to the toilet and closing and locking the door is the only privacy I really get, and so it's that's my hiding spot. And then my legs go numb and I can't walk, and I'm like staggering like Stilt Man trying to walk out of a bathroom. But
Court's gonna question every time you have diarrhea from now on.
Oh no, she knows. She does the same thing.
I'll be back.
Yep. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you soon. Enjoy your vacation. But Zed says in the live chat, really considering getting Steam Decks for his kids. Chris, you're the Steam Daddy, maybe Super Nintendo Dad, but you are also Super Steam Daddy. What would you say about getting a couple of Steam Decks instead of a Nintendo Switch 2? How would you feel about that for if you were making a decision for your kids?
Well,
I know your kids would want both, ideally, but if you had to choose, would you be okay with doing that?
Just because they like the Nintendo, like Dash really wants Smash Brothers. Flynn would probably want the Steam Deck. He would want whichever one he could play. The new whatever,
the new Witcher.
Yeah, Flynn. Well, Flynn he's like the one that's constantly trying to ask if he can play, the GTA Online. I'm just going to drive around. I'm not even going to shoot anyone.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even going to shoot anyone. That's the first thing you're going to have to do. You can't just drive around. You drive around, you accidentally hit a pedestrian. If they don't die, they're trying to pull you out of the car and fight with you anyway, and then you got to pull out the Glock and just like really give it to them, then run from the cops anyway. Like, there's no not shooting people in that game.
Last time you said that to me, and I believed you, there was that one game from Square Enix where Just Cause, I think, 3.
Oh, I remember that,
because they would be like, oh, I love the wingsuit, and you could just shoot onto the back of like a moving car and then pull yourself and then use the wingsuit. And he's like, I just want to fly around. And then I was like, yeah, well then how come your mother came and asked me while you're in there shooting up a bunch of people? He's like, well, they were coming after me. I was like, yeah, that's the part of the game. What are you talking about?
It's built in. You can't help it. You gotta do a shooty shoot.
Okay, so the way they have Steam Family Sharing now works wonders. Where, so I got like 1,000 games on my Steam library, and then my son, he doesn't have 1,000, but he's got like 20, right? But he can play any game I have. I can play any game he has. So if you have your Steam account plus then your 2 kids each have their own. Let's say you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
They each have their own Steam Deck. They would all 3 of you could be a part of the family, and then you could all 3 be playing 3 different games at the same time. But if you wanted to play the same game, you would have to have a copy, and then let's say one of the kids would have to have another copy, and then even if you owned one of them, the kid could own one, and then any combination of you 3 could play it. So
I don't know if you answered the question.
What?
Would you get your kids Steam Decks?
I'm saying, yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
Dash already has one, but then Zed said they're getting
the Switch too ananyway. So like,
I'm just saying
just
we
snag.
just got sidetracked again. It was just another chicken and biscuit.
Yeah, it was just some squeeze cheese.
Yeah, the old squeeze cheese.
Oh man, but yeah, ideally, I really wish I'd waited and maybe got the OLED model of the Steam Deck because I like that screen a lot better. The base model screen kind of sucks. It's a little washed out.
Well, especially compared to that. Plus, then they got the thing. All you need is for it to get the game to get up to just get 30 FPS, and you can automatically get the screen will automatically go up to 90 FPS.
Yep, which is crazy. I wish I'd have waited for the OLED one though. Like ultimately, for the longest time, I would have said the Steam Deck was probably one of my least favorite tech purchases I've made in the last 10 years. And then as some things have came out that I really, really wanted to try out and have enjoyed handheld, like Metaphor ReFantazio, Marvel Rivals, like it's been cool being able to do those things and not have to be
50.
straddled to my computer, or strapped, not straddled. I'm not straddling my computer, guys.
What
like,
are you
bow, 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 bow. Anyway, but
he's on it right now if you're watching the video version.
but I was really disappointed in that, and then but now like these newer games that are coming out that like I'm really enjoying on the Steam Deck. And on top of that, by the way, shout out to Super Nintendo Ed. You snagged me a dock for my birthday, and it's really cool being able to also go lay down on my couch and play games from my Steam library on the TV. Like, I don't know, like I think I'm really enjoying it, but I would recommend the OLED over the base version. You know what else I would recommend?
Oh, what was that?
I would recommend knowing what the dimensions are of the Switch 2, and the reason being,
get us back on track.
It's Dbrand. They posted a case. Okay, they posted a case for the Nintendo Switch 2 that they were going to be coming out with. Not too long after that, they posted the exact dimensions of the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you're doing that. I don't know how licensed you are or how like good it is that you are able to work with Nintendo Switch, but what are you doing? Like, are you trying to get the ninjas sent to your home and taken away and taken out of this universe? But anyway, for those who are curious, the dimensions are as follows: width with Joy-Con, 270 millimeters. Width without Joy-Con, 200 millimeters. Height, 160 millimeters. And thickness of 14 millimeters. For comparison's sake, the Switch OLED models measures 242 millimeters wide with Joy-Con, height 102 millimeters, and 13.9 millimeters thick. So again, really reinforcing the fact that the Switch to whatever the successor to the Nintendo Switch is pretty much the same amount of thickness, but significantly wider, significantly taller. But bold. That's all I can say is bold of them to do that. This case doesn't even look that cool. Like, it's just like a hard shell. I mean, it's fine, but it's just like some random hard shell faceplate. And I've never been a big fan of these style of cases. Like, I would like a zip up case, please. Plus, there's all these gaps that would let dirt and dust and grime and particles in. Like, why? And I know it's probably a backplate style case that has the snap-on front that protects the front. But I hate this. I hate this.
Please. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, iPad falling down. My kickstand broke on my iPad, and this is how I keep track of my show notes. It fell over just a second ago, but Anyway, I don't know. What do you think? Bold, right? Bold of Dbrand to do. I think you mentioned like some history that they had with Nintendo earlier before we got started doing the show.
Oh yeah, they had to, like, something happened with the wraps for the system with like Zelda and Animal Crossing, I think. And yeah, I just I don't usually care about any of those cases. The only one I did like was what was the one kickstand that I had? So you could play Tate mode, where you play, like, you can turn the screen sideways.
Oh, playing Drake. When you said Tate, I didn't know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about when you say turning it sideways. I call that Drake.
Oh, well, it's called Tate mode, but
yeah, it's also Drake.
No.
It is also Drake. Okay, hold on. Now we're going to Google again. Here we are. The fourth time this episode.
I'm gonna listen to
being derailed. Okay. Turning a screen Drake.
No one banned them. I tried to pin that message to the fight, but someone was trying to sell us viewers. That would have been great.
Oh man, we missed out on a good deal. How come when I Google that, it just shows me pictures of Drake, and that's pretty much it? Oh, there's a dragon.
What about Tate?
That's Nathan Drake. How do you spell that? Tate.
Tate.
Well, that's just Tate. Now I'm getting pictures of that one dude that I don't want to talk about. And that guy's way worse than Drake. And Drake's bad too, with P. Diddy and all them. But this is that Andrewsif Tate. You know the guy I'm talking about. Like, that guy is a womanizer. Maybe we just don't know what it's actually called. Maybe we just assume that's what it's called. No, you're not. You close the window. You're not talking on the stream. No one calls it Drake. Mel, you leave me alone. Deck and Ally are better. Switch is terrible. Nick, somebody ban Nick over in the YouTube chat. I don't know what he's coming into this Nintendo Switch podcast talking smack. Someone ban Nick over in the chat over there. Get out of here. Said Switch terrible. Deck and Ally better. Who's Nick? Have you sent it to me yet? I'm Nick. He says LMAO. Oh man. Instantly banned. No, you're good, Nick. You got bad opinions, but you're good. Oh man. But no, we're waiting for Chris to come back. Did you? Isn't this the same one that you sent to me earlier? I've lost control of this podcast. I truly have lost control of this podcast. What are you doing? Calamity Nolan Call. I don't have Discord linked on here because I wanted to manage Chris's actual voice, and it's impossible to do otherwise. What is this show today? This has been crazy. He's not selling. I mean, that is true. Nick is not selling viewers. So, like, I get shout out, Nick. Shout out, Nick. What do you mean, come back? He's right here, blinking and everything. Well, the thing is that his voice isn't here. It's just he is blinking, but his voice isn't here, Susie. Oh man. While I'm waiting for Chris to get back here and me to not be sitting here with freaking a Weekend at Bernie's guy, here's some more mock-ups based on the leaked dimensions and correct screen size as well. As you can see, it has a little bit of a bezel. Graphic designer worked on these with a lot of different Joy-Con colors and a lot of themes, but comparatively to the actual Switch, this is sizable. This is absolutely significantly larger sized. And here in a second, we'll be able to find out what Chris thinks of that when I do this. Chris, what do you think of that?
I'll tell you what. That's that was a hassle. Yeah. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Your mouth is doing the moves now.
Okay, yeah. So
your soul left your body, and it was left here on Nintendo Rewind Podcast.
Let's see. What was I gonna say? I like the bigger. I know Mel. The reason Mel was, and I usually would talk about the Switch, and the reason why she didn't get the Switch 2 or the Steam Deck is because she wanted like something. She would love something the size of the Switch Lite, but that connects to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants so she doesn't want something too big, but I wanted something a little bit bigger than what we have, and something that connects better rather than just those rails, because I got the OLED, but if I play handheld, for some reason when I'm holding it, the thing kind of like pops out of place a little bit every once in a while, and then it'll be like, sync the Joy-Con. I'm like, no, and then I gotta like pull it out and then push it back down.
Like
and it's
this?
Annoying, so
it does a wiggle? I'm showing it on stream. I don't know if it's very easy to tell, but it does do a wiggle. But you're saying like the tabs are probably. Here's what I will tell you. Like I've had to repair those so many times because my kids have ruined their Joy-Cons. So I literally buy a set of replacement rails. It's like $10, and you unscrew 4 screws, and then you swap the rail out after lifting up a bail to be able to pull the ribbon cable out. It's such an easy fix, Chris. You could do it. You could. If I can do it, you can do it.
Let me tell you something. I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
But
have your broken Joy-Cons. Send them to me. I'll fix them for you. I'm kind of with
a broken Joy-Con. It's a Switch.
Oh. I'm kind of with.
My mic.
Yeah, I can hear it ringing. I'm kind of with Nolan in the live chat and Mel. I like the idea of a Switch Lite Pro. Like, give me an OLED screen, allow me to disconnect my Joy-Cons and put it in a Switch Lite form factor, and give me the D-pad from the Switch Lite, and I'll be totally set. Like, I would love that. That would be very cool. Is Nintendo ever going to do that? Probably not. They only know XL. That's all they know. Make it bigger. Clearly defined by the Nintendo Museum. But like,
that or the micro.
Oh yeah, and then they'll sell like 500 units of it and then delist it after like 6 months of it being for sale. So that's pretty much it. But I agree with Mel. I like that idea. I really, really like that idea. Let me use a Switch Lite as a controller for Switch 2 in dock mode. Boy howdy, let me tell you something. Here's something new. Chris, do you want to tell him what you heard the rumor was?
Oh, I think I can. Yeah, I mean, I think people talked about it, right?
Yeah.
It's just not me telling you something I heard from a buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I did hear something, but the thing I heard was because there's an additional button on the Joy-Cons, right? And the one button is rumored to like beam this video that you have to the dock, so it like beams it remotely, so then it like mirrors what you have on the dock, what you're seeing on the TV and what you're seeing on the Switch itself. So it would kind of be like the Wii U gamepad. Like you could turn the Switch into a gamepad.
I would really love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
Nintendo Land could finally be ported properly.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, if they were to do that, that'd be great.
Yep. Do I legitimately believe that is a thing that I believe it's a thing that could happen? Do I think it will? I am more on the cautious side of saying that's probably like a 3 out of 4. Or not 3 out of 4. My apologies. A 3 or 4 out of 10 chance of that happening. Yeah, like 30-40% chance of that actually being the thing. Like,
I would love for that to happen, and then them to bring Nintendo DS to the Nolan started the
No,
rumor.
they're gonna bring over Star Fox Zero.
They're gonna bring over Star Fox Zero. They can finally bring over that and Nintendo. Nintendo Land.
Watch out! Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition will be the bridge title. It'll use the second screen as the map.
Right? Yeah.
Oh
and,
man.
We can finally bring back Zombie U.
Yeah, we could, but Nintendo Land's first in that line. Then we had this guy, and we're just gonna kind of like fast fire through these because there's this random dude that was over on Reddit. His username was Next Handheld. He posted on there and said, "I've come from the future. I've got my muggy hands on a final release Switch 2 and its dock. Ask me anything. I'll post proof on Xmas. Edit. Please stop private messaging me asking me to send photos." Okay? Now, here's the thing. Do I believe him? Yes. Partly because there's a mod for Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit that vouched for him. Partly because I think that we are closer to the actual release of the console than most people probably even think. And also partly because there have to be dev kits that are out there in the wild, right? Like, dev kits oftentimes for modern day consoles are pretty much the console, but jailbroken. So I do believe that he's gotten this. But here's the list of things. And Chris, after I read each thing, you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how believable you think it is.
Okay.
Hall effect sticks. So drift solved. 1 to 10.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I'll say yeah, of course. They would be foolish not to.
A launch title with the number 9 in its title.
I'm gonna say 5 out of 10. I'm sure people automatically assume he's talking about Mario Kart, but Mario Kart 9 was Mario Kart on mobile, and so I think there will
Mario
be
Kart
some.
Tour.
Yeah, there will be some random game that has the number 9 in it.
It's Final Fantasy 9 remake for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they were running at the when they showed it off at Tokyo Game Show last year. They were talking about running Final Fantasy 7 on it.
Yeah,
the remake.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be Final Fantasy 9 remake. You never know. But I'm with you. I think a 5 out of 10 is appropriate. I think Mario Kart something will happen. Finally, Dylan's Western number 9, says Bill. I think it will happen. I'm just not exactly optimistic that it's like a launch title, you know?
I would say Mario Kart will not be a launch title, but it will be out within the first 6 months.
Mel also adds Mighty number 9. Please no. Here's the thing, all the same ports that the original had. So literally the same 2 USB-A ports, the USB-C port, the HDMI, and the Ethernet port on the inside.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it'll just be the same ports they have now. Because because even the OLED, right? The HDMI can support up to 4K or whatever.
Yes,
the one that they have, but that's probably just because those are.
I mean, it's cheaper to get those. They're modern piece.
Than
yeah. And then I think this is the final thing. They were talking about the top side of the Joy-Cons when detached has a surprise feature. Oh, and the magnets themselves are buttons.
Okay, so they're probably buttons and they kind of like pop or click into place, right?
From what I've seen is that it does take a significant amount of force still yet to release them from the console, because there was some blurry footage that came out of people pulling it off at a factory. Not pulling it off, God.
What were they doing?
No, they were not. They were pulling the Joy-Cons out of the console at a factory. Let me be
What
clear.
is this episode?
I don't
By the
know
way.
anymore. But like, it looked like it took a significant amount of force to be able to do that. But like, I don't know. Do you think the magnets are the SR and SL buttons that are on there? Do you think those are the buttons?
Like they're actually buttons?
Yeah. Do you think those are the buttons?
Maybe. I mean, I guess that would make sense if they're it would be like a two-purpose thing.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I'm leaning in on it.
I guess it depends how durable they are, but yeah. You know, like we want it to be durable.
I am curious about what the top of the Joy-Con surprise feature actually is. It doesn't really make any sense. Someone says, "Can you tell us plain and clear what the surprise feature is on the Joy-Cons, and do you know what the C button is for on the right Joy-Con?" And they said, "Think lasers," is all they said as a reply in the comments.
Think lasers?
I have no. Where you're getting throwback to the 1990s, where everybody had to have a laser pointer and all the different tips to put shapes on the walls. Is that what it's going to be? That
like with a dog, they just love. Well, some dogs just love chasing after the laser pointer.
Mm-hmm. But what do you think? Scale of 1 to 10, believable? I'm more on the 9 side on this.
Has to do with the lasers?
No. The top side of the Joy-Con has a surprise feature when detached, and that the magnets themselves are buttons.
Yeah, sure, I believe that. But yeah. I do believe it's the magnetized, the detached, because they got that button on the back. It's supposed to, you just push it, and it's supposed to very easily.
There was one more. Docked 4K. Unsure about DLSS.
Unsure about DLSS, probably because they have like the final version, but they can't actually turn it on because it probably doesn't have the OS on it. So they probably has nothing installed on it if they do have it.
Yeah, it's a dev kit with no software, and it probably has the dev OS on it. That's what I anticipate out of this. More than anything is it has dev OS, and because they aren't developing a game to play on it, they don't have a game to play on it to be able to test anything or even see what it's actually doing. The 4K, that doesn't surprise me at all, because the Nintendo literally had people working on Tears of the Kingdom to have it 4K compatible, even though the Switch 1 is not capable of outputting 4K itself. So I'm not surprised by that. If it is 4K, very cool. I don't think the games will display at like a native 4K. I think there will be that DLSS upscaling to get it to 4K to display on our modern TVs and make it look a little bit better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree.
This one's a 10 out of 10 for me. I think 10 out of 10. I believe this.
And C stands for cardboard. You hit the button and it turns into Labo.
It turns into Labo. It's like a Labo former.
Yeah. No. Now you don't need to just be one of those like 4 people that won the Labo contest to get the Joy-Con. You just hit that C button.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I don't think any of this. I think this guy's just making.
So you don't think he has one. You think he's just saying he has one.
If he posts anything on Christmas, it's just going to be some random.
It's going to be Joker face.
3D printed. There's some random 3D printed thing. I feel like, and I also feel like the reason why all this stuff is coming out and Nintendo's not really doing anything is because, like with the 3DS, it came out that they were printing 3D because they were manufacturing 3D
screens
system. 3D screens, glasses free 3D screens. So they said, yep, that's true. We'll announce that late in June or whatever. So they announced it in like January or February and then didn't show it until June.
Yeah.
And then what? It didn't come out until the year after, right? Is that how it happened?
Yeah, I think it was a literal year from the announcement
February
of it.
After that or something. Yeah. Yeah, and then not too long after that, the price dropped.
Yeah, well, because it was too expensive. It legit was. For a handheld, most people weren't going to pay that. They were charging console prices for it.
$250?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's wild. It was wild that they started there, and then the 3DS carried them while the
Wii U tanked.
While the Wii U, crawled to its death.
I mean, the thing is, like, the everything had become so cheap for and Nintendo's like one of the few companies that do not sell consoles at a loss. Like, they just don't. They make money on their consoles. They have the freedom to be able to mess around with the pricing, and yeah, their like margins are still pretty thin because of shipping and everything, but they still make more money than Xbox does. Xbox actively loses money on every console it sells. PlayStation, very much the same boat, which honestly mind-blowing for me that Xbox is willing to lose money on every console they sell, because like everything's supposed to be an Xbox now, so why would you willingly do that? But
so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make them that much longer.
Yeah, I agree. I think their best plan is to just sell the Game Pass service and let it be able to be playable on everything. Yeah. So
I think they're waiting for
Apple's,
like, the government to allow them to put the xCloud, the cloud version of Game Pass on PlayStation and on Switch too, and then that way they don't have to worry about their own systems. I think in the meantime they're going to keep making their own and be like, we're here to support it. And then as soon as they can do it the other way, they will. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the reason why Nintendo's not really saying anything now is because it's pretty much just the Switch moving up to a Switch 2.
Right.
It's kind of like, when the iPad, Apple has the iPad and then they got the new iPad.
They still do the Apple summits and like talk about it.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, but I just mean in terms of there's not really anything for them to come out and say. Like, oh, yeah, they're not going to be like, those leaks are true.
Just waiting for them to just like confirm what it looks like. Just show it to the people. Like, stop having it behind a closed off office door. And I almost said that like office door. Yeah. Like, just show it to the people.
What do you mean?
Office chocolate. But Chris is over here rubbing off on me. Can we get some woo-woos in the chat? But that being said, like, that's the rumor mill. That's everything that you missed that came out this past week. Like, it's crazy how much came out this past week. Like, that's a lot of info.
So many rumors. Nintendo is not giving us anything.
If you were going to start a rumor, what would you want your rumor to be? If you were going to let's start a rumor right now about the Nintendo Switch 2. Right here. Coming out world first rumor that nobody knows about.
It would be, of course, it would be the one thing I would want it to be is that it's launching with Nintendogs.
Here's my rumor that I think is believable. Forget wireless transfers. If you don't have an internet port nearby and you can't do system to system connection without an internet port, they're going to be selling a link cable at launch that you plug into that secondary USB-C port to connect two consoles so you can trade Pokemon. that's my rumor. I'm starting right here right now. There's going to be a link cable.
Yeah, it's going to be a link cable. It's going to work with F1 racing on the Game Boy.
Yes. It's coming in pink. Yes. Yeah. It's also probably a pretty good one. The Princess Peach Showtime Joy-Cons are standard on this console.
Right, yeah, it's going to be in pink. Diversity. But no, I mean, I think we talked about wanting to do an episode where we just do where we talk about what we think. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can, after they announce the Switch 2,
Team January.
They end up calling
Team January.
Yeah. Once they announce it, then we can have an episode where we talk about, because then we'll kind of have an idea of what the parameters are for what it'll look like in terms of the games, or could potentially look like, especially because they had like Skyrim and in that opening video, right? So if they have something like that, if they have something like Baldur's Gate 3 or something like Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Then we can be like, okay, here's what we think the first year of the Switch 2 is going to look like and what games they're going to release. And we'll go from there.
Be super about that. I'm super about that. You know what else is getting ready to release, Chris?
Oh, gosh.
Got a full week of new games. Let's fast forward to the Nintendo Rewind Fast Forward. Let's see well, Chris, what's coming out this week? What's coming out this week?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked me. Because when my thing stopped working, so did my
so did the rest of your games. Well, I'll tell you what's coming out. And while you get it pulled up, Quilts and Cats of Calico. Okay, you tell them about it.
Yeah, Quilts and Cats of Calico, for crying out loud. It is like a it's like based on the board game Calico. It's kind of like it's a bit of a puzzle game. You kind of like got to match up the you get certain cards with like different colors, and you have to like pair them up to like match up multiple of the same color, and then you kind of like go from there. And then you got like cats roaming around on the board, and it is cute and cozy and catty. You know what? I think Tenderly would like this.
This is a Tenderly game. This speaks Tenderly all over it. So shout out to her. Cats and cozy.
I know, right? It's $19.99. Comes out tomorrow, Wednesday the 18th, and $19.99. It is 1 to 4 players on a single system, or 2 to 4 players on a Online, yeah.
That's cool.
Which reminded me, there is a game, a board game, or it's like kind of like a card game that I want to play with you, but we have to do it in person. So when we get together in person, I got a game that we're gonna play.
Bring it down, baby. Bring it down. Come down. I got plenty of room here for you, dude.
All right. Yeah.
We got a whole game room.
That's true. Yeah. And okay, so then the next game we're bringing up the next one now.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Leaf's Adventure, Netherworld Hero. This one, it's one of those games where I'm not quite sure about the look of it. It's kind of looks like it could look okay, but I don't like the way it looks in person, like in motion, I mean, or not in motion. I think it looks okay in motion, but I don't like the way it looks in still images, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is a 2D kind of like adventure combat game where you're like a kid. I imagine his name's Leif, Leif. '*S, Leaf's Adventure.
Like the Ericsson version, not the tree version of Leaf.
Yeah, definitely. You're not going to find this on a tree.
The Nintendo tree coming at you next year, 2025.
Oh, that'll be the name of it. Yeah. Yeah. Once you wake up, once Alarma wakes you up, you go outside and water your Nintendo tree.
Yes.
And if you don't, the leaves will come down and just start slapping you. But if you're not sure about it, you can go ahead and try out the demo, because there's a demo for it. It is $19.99. It comes out on Thursday, the 19th. It comes out on everything, so it's like not out yet on Steam. But yeah, it'll be out then. This is like the bottom of the the end of the year, so it's like there's not
it's the bottom of the barrel games.
bottom of the barrel. Then we also got Universe for sale, which comes out also on the 19th. This is kind of like, it came out like a year ago on Steam, and now it looks like they finally went ahead, got someone to port it over. and it's kind of like a hand-drawn adventure game, and I guess it takes place in Jupiter.
Yeah.
And yeah, you play as a woman crafting an entire universe in the palm of her hand. So it's kind of like you going around doing a lot of talking with people, and there's going to be a lot of talking.
I think that's mostly what that game is talking. It looks like a narrative adventure style game, which I like them from time to time. Not necessarily my jive, but I like the setting of this and kind of the story. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to have a really cool sci-fi, make you think kind of story that's going along with it.
Right. And it's like the publisher, they have some games that on the Switch that are like one of the first games actually, like from one of like the first Nintendo Nindies, was like Desert Child, and that was like one of the first like indie games they were pushing in like 2017, and then it ended up coming out like December 2018.
I didn't know they did Mutazione.
Well, they published it. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah. They published it, but I didn't know they published it.
Yeah, they published it, and then they did
Downpour,
some good games.
Rain World Downpour, Rain World Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got some good things that they published. Desert Child, I remember. I really liked that art style that was in that game.
Yeah, I like that art style too. But yeah, that'll be out on the 19th, and that is $14.99. It's on sale right now for $12.74.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got it's like a double pack, which is you want those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them 1 and 2, and that comes out on Thursday. It's like the double pack of the 2 games by themselves. It'll either probably be 15 or $20.
They're both by themselves $9.99. So I expect this to come in on the cheaper side. I think you and I would probably agree it's probably going to be like $14.99, somewhere in that ballpark. So
right, yeah. But
to get both of them,
they are good. I played at least the first one on Steam. I got to go for that. Played it there, and I've heard nothing but good things about the second one. So,
it's more of the same, like actually like good fun little time wasters. I wouldn't say good. Let me backspace just a little bit. They're the games that you see in the ads that eventually are not the actual games that you get to play when you download that game on your mobile device. But like, it's interesting. Because you actually get to play those. And it was a fun distraction. When I played the first one, because I haven't played the second one yet, you can see the first one, it says already owned. But when I played the first one, I really loved the pin pulling game. And then there was another game where you were moving cars out of a car park, and I really liked that game a lot. I 3-starred every single one of those maps. And
right.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another thing that's going to be cool. And if you don't already own these, nice cheap way to be able to get them both.
Because they kind of remind me of those like generic games that you'd see an ad for, like while scrolling through TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, exactly. But yeah, that'll be out. And then also came out this week that we didn't get a chance to. I don't think we talked about it. That's exactly what these are. Thank you, Nolan. You know what? This is why we want Nolan on next week's episode. But they got Tetris and Tetris DX. I believe when they first announced that Tetris was coming, they did not mention Tetris DX for the Game Boy Color. But here it is. It's out. You can go play both of them right now. Tetris on the NES, and then Tetris DX on the Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be kind of at odds with the fact that they just did the release of and that's what Nolan was playing too, the Tetris Forever.
Oh yeah.
stuff that was going on, the big 40th anniversary that has all of the Tetris games on one cartridge. Like, it seems kind of funny that they're putting these all out for Nintendo Switch Online members. So, like, I don't know, this is like a little undercut in there. but if you want to play some Tetris, because I will say NES Tetris and the Game Boy Tetris DX are not the Tetris that I'm familiar with. I played the Game Boy DMG version, the original Game Boy version. That was the one that I had the most familiarity with. It's a good opportunity to be able to try out some good Tetris. And Tetris, it's pretty much the same thing all the way across the board, like with some minor things that they change. But it's available now. Go play it. It was available earlier this week, but now you can play it now.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, let me see what they have on here, and for like the NSO icons.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot, December 2nd, they have a couple of like the kind of like the almost like promotional art for Super Mario Land 2, but then I looked and they've been out since December 2nd. So what do I know?
These right here. I was scrolling through Twitter to find them. Super Mario Land 3. Shout out to it with Wario, but he's also in Super Mario Land 2 as the bad guy. But I always liked that. I really wish they'd bring back this classic costume for Wario. They really haven't like kept that classic costume available for him in most of the games. Like, he's always like got short sleeves with gloves on, or the safari hat, or a hard hat, whatever that is, and that you play with him in Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe he's dressed like a biker, like he is in WarioWare. Like, it just isn't. I really like that classic costume, and I really wish they would just stick with that look for him.
Right. Yeah. So do I.
He's been available for a little bit. There's a lot of icons that are available. They did Pokemon Scarlet and Violet return icons. Mario icons are there. The December icons for Animal Crossing are available there as well.
And then this weekend, did you put in the ticker? I
didn't have the ticker up this week. I didn't have time to be able to put it together.
99.
Oh yeah, they got a 44th Maximus Cup.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This weekend. So go ahead, grab that. And then there was. I was gonna say, you know what I downloaded on the Switch, just because I haven't played
Infinity
it since
Nikki.
it launched. You would think. I haven't played it since it launched on the Switch, which was Warframe, because Warframe.
Warframe 1999. I'm excited for that. I haven't tried it yet.
Out today, and it's like a new update. And
I thought it came out on my birthday. Came out on the 13th. Did it not come out on the Switch until today?
Great question. I have no idea. I think it came out on Steam or like that's a great question. I don't know.
Now I'm going to the Googles
I thought
again.
it came out today.
No, 5 days ago. It was available. It was available on my birthday on there.
Well, nobody told me on your birthday.
Nobody told me on my birthday. We both watched the same thing. We watched the Game Awards. It said what was going on.
I was busy that day on your birthday.
Clearly. Well, anyway, that's the show, guys. It's been crazy. What a weird show. But
my son was posting thirst traps. I had a lot going on that day.
You truly did. You truly did. So next week is Christmas Eve. We will not be doing an episode on Christmas Eve. What we're going to do instead, so that way we at least have an episode next week and we don't miss another week, kind of within, a 3-week span. What we're going to do is we're going to do the episode on Monday next week. And surprisingly enough, Nolan says in the chat, oops, all Histowee special. It is going to be a Histowee episode. And I was going to reach out to Nolan to see if he wants to come on and compete against you. And we're going to do an entirely Histowee episode as a Christmas gift to Nolan, because he's been begging for Histowee to make a comeback. But if you are available next Monday night, I am inviting you. I hadn't gotten the chance to. I was going to announce it here and then see if I could get anybody to come on. But if you're available next Monday, you're more than welcome to join us. Pre-show starts at 9. We don't do that live. We do that offline, and then we'll be live at 9:30, like our regular time, but just on a Monday, December 23rd. So that way you guys get a cool full episode for next week. So, but if Nolan doesn't join us, I'm sure I'll line up somebody to come on and smack you down just a few pegs. He'll be in Colorado, but maybe you don't have to do video if you don't want to do video. We can have you do call in if you wanted to do that to make it a little bit easier. But
all the guests must do video except for me.
Except Nolan. Nolan too. He gets a pass. But that's it. Chris, where can they find you? Oh, Tenderly's in the live chat. Tenderly, did you see we talked about the Cats and Quilts of Calico? It's a game that's coming out tomorrow. You should look it up. Anyway, Chris, where can they find you?
Pretty much Super Nintendo on everything. You can find me there.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much Nerdwire Plays on everything. Go over to my website, nerdwireplays.com. You can see everything. All of my social media garbage, my Twitch. I'm live over there most of the time, unless I've got to cram a project in. But you can find me over there. Also, you can catch all of our past episodes in video form over at youtube.com/@the-Nintendo-Rewind, or at least a majority of them. There's like 8 missing episodes that are over there. But you can also visit our website for all of our social media garbage at nintendorewind.com, and consider supporting the show through memberships on our site, where you'll get bonus content only available there. Thank you guys so freaking much for watching. Remember, be kind, please rewind, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace. Say bye, Chris.
Bye, mother trucker.